The first thing we should address here is the issue with our content going under the status bar. So we should wrap it inside a safe area view. So here we add a safe area view. Now let's take a look. So the problem is resolved on iOS, but at the time of recording this video, we still have this problem on Android. We talked about this earlier in the course. So safe area view only solves the problem on iOS. To solve this problem, I showed you a technique before. We can use the platform API to detect the current platform. And if it's Android, we can apply some extra padding on the top. So let's review that real quick. First, we go to the top and import the style sheet module, as well as the platform and status bar APIs. Okay. Now down the bottom, we're going to create a styles object. So RNSS, let's call it screen. Here we apply padding top. So if platform.os equals Android, then we're going to apply padding equal to the height of the status bar. So status bar dot current height. Otherwise, we're going to apply no padding. Okay. So let's apply this new style. So over here, we set style to styles.screen. Save the changes. Now take a look. So iOS looks good, but what about Android? That looks perfect. Now let me show you a different way to achieve the same result. We can use Expo constants. So let's install a library called expo-constants. Okay, I'm using Expo constants version 9. Now on the top, let's import constants from Expo constants. Note that I'm not wrapping this inside braces because this is the default object that is exported from this module. Okay. Now this constants gives us a bunch of information about the current platform. So let me show you real quick. Here we can do a console.log and log the constants object. Now take a look. So here's the constants object. We have a bunch of properties here like device ID, device name, device year class. We can tell if this is a real device or not. So a bunch of useful properties. Now, one of the properties that we're going to use in this video is status bar height over here. So on Android, the height of the status bar is 24 pixels. And on iOS, it's 44 pixels. So back to our code. Let's remove this log statement. Now down the bottom, we can simplify this expression. So here we can use constants dot status bar height. That's all we have to do. So on Android, we get 24 pixels here, and on iOS, we get 44 pixels. Now, would it apply extra padding on iOS? No, it wouldn't, because the safe area view component we're using already applies 44 pixels. So the padding top we specify here has no impact on iOS. Now take a look. So save the changes. Here's my iPhone. Beautiful. Now on Android, the issue is resolved. So by using Expo constants, we no longer need to import the platform and status bar APIs. So our code is simpler. So let's get rid of these. Now, there is a problem with this implementation. The problem is that every time we want to create a new screen that should be inside a safe area view, we have to repeat all these steps. First, we have to import the safe area view component. We have to give it a style. We have to use Expo constants. This is repetitive. So we can encapsulate all these details inside a reusable component. Let me show you. So we go to our project, and inside our components folder, we add a new component called screen.js. Let's create a function component. Now, here we're going to import Expo constants. So import constants from Expo-constants. Then we're going to import style sheet from React Native. Next, we're going to create our styles object. So all the details for putting our content inside a safe area view will be implemented here. So let's add a new key called screen. And here we set padding top to constants dot status bar height. Now, here we're going to use our safe area view component and give it this style. styles.screen. Now we want to use this component, the screen component, exactly like the safe area view component. So we should be able to pass children inside this component. How can we do this? We can use the children prop. So props.children. This is exactly the same technique we use to implement our app text component. Okay. Now here we can simplify our code and destructure this argument. So we pick the children property and render it right here. So we're done with this component. Now we have a single place where we have all the details for adding our content inside a safe area view. So let's use this component on our messages screen. I'm going to replace this with our screen component. Now here we don't have auto import, so we have to manually import it on the top. That is super easy. Import screen from, we go up to components and load the screen module. Next, we're going to remove this prop because we don't have to apply this style anymore. All our styles are encapsulated inside this component, right? So delete. Now, let's replace safe area view with screen as well. With this implementation, we no longer need the styles object, but I'm not going to delete it now because it is very likely that later on, we're going to add some styles to our messages screen. I'm just going to delete this object over here. Okay. Now let's go to the top. We no longer need the safe area view. So remove. We don't need the constants object anymore. Our code is simpler. Let's test our implementation. So here's my iPhone, beautiful, and here's my Android. Perfect. Next, we're going to add a separator between our list items.